Hi, I'm Erica Durant, and you're at Comics Online.
Hi, Erica. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. Thanks for calling.
Well, thank you for sharing some time. We're excited to celebrate Creation Entertainment's Salute to Smallville event this weekend. It sounds like you and the gang are getting together for a lot of fun.
I'm really looking forward to it. To be able to be part of an event that is just for Smallville is really, it's a little bit, it's surprising but not surprising given the way the cons have been going and stuff. It's always nice to get out and talk to people and hear about how they love the show. And it's just hard to believe because it was on so long ago, but it was special.
Well, I'd love to dive in. I've got some questions about your experience and we'd love to celebrate, your time on the show. I'd love to start off with hearing about the casting process for such an iconic character. Did you know you were auditioning for Lois Lane at the time, or was it secretive?
They weren't secretive about it. No, they just said it was Lois Lane on Smallville, but for just 4 episodes. And originally, I got the audition, and I didn't really want to do it. I was at that point feeling like it would be pointless because I was based in Vancouver and everything went to LA actresses. So I thought I'm just kind of over it. And my manager just told me to get in there, and so I did what I was supposed to do. And perhaps it was that level of kind of, not that I didn't care, but I just didn't expect much. So I was like, well, I'll just do my job and then let it go. And then I had the part, solidified on a Friday, and then I started working on Monday. So there wasn't a lot of time to let any of it really sink in. It was just one of those, okay, I'm doing this thing, and maybe that was good for me because I'm an overthinker. So it might have been best that I just got it and started working.
Obviously you made quite an impression getting to start off as a recurring guest role for the limited amount and then going to a series regular up to season 10 absolutely was impressive.
Oh, thank you.
Not only did you get to play Lois Lane, you got to have Michael Ironside as your father, General Sam Lane. Any stories of working with him in particular?
I was intimidated by him at first. He's you know has a reputation and a name, and he's been around a long time, and he's worked on huge films and Fresh Shoulders, with some big names himself. It was pretty special.
In a series that celebrates superheroes, powers, magic, I would love to hear from a production perspective, what was the coolest thing that you got to do during your time on the show?
I think it would be anything to do with some of the stunts and that sort of thing. Like it was just so there was so much required. There was, lots of big fights and big, huge ratchet pulls and swinging around on cables and hanging off of buildings. And, these are all things that you think about when you're, wanting to be in one of these kind of shows, but you don't necessarily know if it has the budget. So, you know, I would say the big memory that I have of that is those kind of experiences and just the big, huge camera moves and the cranes that they used. And you just knew you were a small part of this huge machine that was, you better get on, you better do well because it's going to just keep going regardless of what you do. So, it was quite cool.
And you got to return for the Arrowverse later on for Supergirl and then in Crisis on Infinite Earths. What was it like getting to play a different role within the Superman mythos?
Well, especially something so different. Um, I got to have the powers this time, which was really fun. And it was interesting to play somebody that was so sophisticated and graceful, all the things that Lois really wasn't, someone who had very good manage over what she said, what she did. She was regal, you know. So that was very different for me. And then getting to have the superpowers and although sometimes when you're doing it on set, it's a little, you feel a little foolish, but Melissa was always very cool about it. And she gave me some great tips. And then you kind of just have to own all these really strange things that they make you do, but it looks cool later because, they'll add in the special effects and it'll look amazing. So, but yeah, it was surreal as well because, it's a lot of the same subject matter and it was a lot of similar sets and everything like that. And yet I was surrounded by a completely different cast. So it had its moments for sure that I felt like it was quite surreal.
How was it reuniting with Tom for Crisis on Infinite Earths and getting to come back to these characters so many years later?
It was fun. It was really fun. It was almost as if it had been about 10 years since we'd seen each other. And it was almost as if it was yesterday, you know. We just got right back into it and enjoyed it and had our banter, and they wrote some beautiful little bits for Lois to be able to say. You know, it's such a small little scene for her, but it still stayed true to kind of who she was. And I liked what they did with her.
Mark Guggenheim has become a friend over the years, and I know that he's very proud of what you all did for Crisis. And I think that that was a
I'm
perfect
so
way
glad.
to include Smallville as part of that, multiverse celebration.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
My
Yeah.
last question for you, I'd love to hear what brought you into the world of acting and entertainment.
I've always liked it. I don't have a really fancy answer to that. You know, I just grew up loving anything to do with the arts and singing and dancing and drama and that sort of thing. And so it wasn't something I ever imagined I'd be able to do full time, but it is something I enjoyed. And so for the first part of my life, it started out as a interesting class that I took, and I took an acting class. And then I thought, oh, it'd be kind of fun to get on a set. Okay, I'll go do that. And kind of went through the ranks that way and then ended up being able to actually do it for a living. I'm grateful.
Well, I just want to say thank you because I absolutely loved watching Smallville every week. It was definitely an experience that I enjoyed with my family, and getting to see everything
Oh
that you guys
my, good.
accomplished on TV with a TV budget as well was nothing short of impressive.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you so much. And I'm really glad you were able to watch it with your family. I love stories like that.